Hey y'all, it's Steve, Hobo with Wood, and in this video we're going to design a rather special clock, and this will be a tribute to St. Patty's Day. We're going to get this out onto Laser Maker's Realm in time for St. Patrick's Day 2023. So stay tuned, this is going to be a fun one. Welcome back to another video with Hobo with Wood and Fun with Lasers. Before we get started on this project, I want to take just a second and make sure everyone watching is aware that I am starting my new website where I'm sharing projects that you may or may not have seen that are available for sale in my new online store. Right now, there are just designs on there for, all the files, when I upload them, they will all have the AI, the SVG, the DXF, and the LightBurn library. So 4 different file types that you can create my projects with. And let's just take a real quick look. The website is hobowithwood.com. Really hard to keep up with. hobowithwood.com. But right now, it's in its infancy. This is it. It's very basic. The way it's currently set up, the home page shows any of all the new products. You may have seen the purse that I designed. These are the gift card holders. You may or may not have seen earrings. I've got quite a few different earring styles. This little fox, a Highland cow. This is actually an earring stand that you can cut out, and it's a really clean file that you can resize to fit any lumber or any wood that you're working with, any thickness. There's not a situation where you're going to, oh man, the slots aren't resizing. I promise these will work flawlessly. I have tried and tested any project before I have ever uploaded them. In fact, as you can see, this is an actual photograph of one of the pieces, the earring stand. So I've actually built it. I didn't just design it. I actually make them. And the design, the only difference between the one that's uploaded and this one is the one online does not have my logo on it, obviously. And these bottom 3 hooks are a little bit low. So I raised that array so it's for higher up off the bottom. But I've designed and built this. I know it works. I'm going to eventually have products on here for sale as well, because I'm building a lot of stuff for you guys showing how to do this, and I'm starting to accumulate a lot of things. I'm going to start selling the projects as I build them. But lots of different earring designs, the coffee cup gift holder, the purse. This will be what I'm going to do today is going to be a clock. We're going to design a clock from the beginning, and including some really unique artwork, and it's going to pay tribute in a roundabout way to St. Patty's Day, but it's going to be used and enjoyed all year long. I started looking for ideas for shamrocks and things to do for St. Patty's Day, and this came across my screen. And I thought that was super funny. That's a sticker you can buy. A wee bit hidish. And a funny little marijuana leaf. So I'm going to do my own spin of this on a clock face. And we're going to do a lot more twist with it as we go too. So let's jump in here to LightBurn. Alright, so starting out in LightBurn with a completely clean slate. We're not going to be copying and tracing. We're going to draw our own original artwork. And we're going to do it with some of the most difficult tools involved in LightBurn. Starting with the pencil tool. I'm going to come over here to the middle of my page somewhere, and I'm going to left click to start drawing, hold my shift key, bring her down, and then hit my left button and then my right button to stop drawing, and hit the selector tool, select that, and make it 5 inches total. And there we have our first leaf of our marijuana leaf. You don't see it? Okay, well, maybe a little help then. All right, so we select that, come over here to our offset tool. We're going to do an outward offset with a corner style, the corner style being corner. Our options need to be turned on for the outer shapes only. Select resulting objects and delete the original objects and say OK. And now, do you start to see the leaf? So that's a rectangle. No, that's not a rectangle. That's an offset of a line. And the difference between an offset of a line and a rectangle is this already has nodes. If I go into node editing, there are 4 nodes. If I drew a rectangle that happened to be that size, and then I go into node editing, there are no nodes. You have to convert that to a path to see the nodes, because it's not a path, it's a shape. So this is an offset of a line, not a rectangle. So if I use that and I go into node editing, it shows me 4 nodes, but those 4 nodes are in the wrong spot. I need 4 more nodes, and need them to be in the middle of each of those pair of nodes. To do that, I just come over and hover over the line and hit the letter M, as in middle. Doesn't matter where you're at on the line, M will put the node in the middle of the line, or the middle between the 2 most closest nodes. If I were to come down here again and hit M, it puts it between those 2 nodes. I don't need that one, so I'm going to hit the letter D to get rid of it. All right, now, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to come down to the original nodes, and I'm going to hit the letter D over each of those. Delete, delete, not the delete button, but the letter D. If you hit the delete button, you would delete your entire image. We don't want to do that. So now I've got a still a 4-sided image, but it's more of like a diamond than a rectangle. We're going to come over to the side nodes and hit the letter S. Now, you doubting Thomases, do you start to see the beginning of the marijuana leaf? All right, now I want to take this one, and I'm going to hit Control D for duplicate, and I'm going to tell it to scale it down to 85%. And now I'm going to tell it to rotate to negative 35. Let's see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. And now we're going to hit Control D. And let's make that one at let's say we'll stay with 85 and see what that looks like. I did the wrong thing. Stupid. Control D. I want to. Here we go. 85. Is that going to be small enough? No. I'm going to come back up here to this one, the original, and I'm going to tell it to scale it to, that was 85. Let's do 50% of the original. See what that looks like. Didn't mean to undo. Got a Control D, and obviously that looked like that was going to be too small. Now that I've got a duplicate, let's do 60%. Now let's rotate that one 90 degrees and bring her down into place. And let's do that one, Control D, and let's do that one at 50%. And I'm not real sure what angle I'm going to put that at, so I'm just going to do it to where I like the look of it. and put her in place. Now I'm going to draw from the right to the left and then touch all three of those leaves. Hit Control D and then hit my mirror key right up here and then move it using the arrow keys to there. They're all overlapping. Now if you just grab any two of them and hit the weld key. Now grab another one and hit weld. Grab another one, hit weld. Grab another one, hit weld. And lastly, no, not lastly, got a couple to do. I'm on. Now those are not symmetrical, but I want to show you how easy that is to fix. Go back into your node editing. And we're just going to come right down here. Zoom in real close to begin with. So you can just draw right around there and hit the letter D. Not the delete button, but the letter D. When you're in node editing, if you hit the delete button, you will delete the entire image. Didn't I just say that? Hit the delete by hitting the letter D. Grab some more and hit D. And D. D. And now I can draw her down here like so. And there you go. There's you a marijuana leaf, and it all started with a little straight line. All right. So that's the basic idea of how you can manipulate and control nodes and create things, starting with something as simple as a straight line. Now, you're going to play with this. You're going to get it to create the exact image you want. This is not going to be the one I'm going to have available in the artwork. I just wanted to show you that I can do it, because in the file that we're going to have for free, it's going to be a lot nicer and a lot more symmetrical. My OCD is going to really take place, but here I'm trying to make this as quick as possible and just showing you how I did do this. In fact, that's a little tall. I can actually just kind of shrink her down a little bit and bring her over here. And that's looking a little better, but not great. Put her in the middle of the page. Now I'm going to put some text in here. What was that text original? Let's see. A wee bit Irish. So text a wee bit, and let's center that over our leaf. Let's scale her up. And now come over here over the little blue dot on your text, and you can bend your text downward. We want this to be kind of in a circular, and we can change that later if we need to add more or less. Now grab more text, and this is H-I-G-H-R-I-S-H, Irish. And we're going to select it and the leaf and put it in center. We'll scale that up. And even take her a little closer to the leaf. And I'm going to bring that down and say, okay, good. All right, now, got that. In fact, let's put her in the center page. Well, it wasn't a center page. All right. Now, what am I going to do? All right, I'm working with a wooden round. This is going to be my clock. This has a diameter of, I think, 8 1/4 inches. So we're going to draw a circle. We're going to put it on a toolpath, and we're going to look at that. It's close. 8 1/4. 8 1/4. Aspect ratio locked. Put that in the center of the page. So now we can see that that other image is entirely too big. So we select that whole thing, and we're going to shrink her down to where it would be in the middle of the clock. Now we're going to come up here, and this is where I said we're going to have a little bit more fun. I'm not going to put a regular typical clock face on here. Let's start with our text, and let's give it a number. We're going to go with number 4. Put it on our black layer. Now that we've got that selected, we're going to hold our shift key and select our toolpath and come to our circular array. We're going to do 12 copies, and there you have an instant clock face. But they're all number 4. That's right, they are all number 4. Except I'm going to go back to our text tool, and I'm going to come over here to this number 4, and I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to put a 20 over there, just because I'm silly. You starting to see the theme? All right. I am not a pothead. I am not a partaker. I have tried it. I'm not going to lie, but it has no effect on me. My vice is my Irish whiskey. Let's see. Now I'm going to select just. Well, you know what? Just to be able to do this, I'm going to select all that. I'm going to put it on a different path. Now I can select a single 4 and come up here to edit. I'm going to select all shapes on current layer and now group those. And now I can shrink down just that clock face numbers to keep it within that 8 1/4 inch circle. That's looking pretty good. Now watch what I do here. I'm going to select that. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate that. I'm going to shrink her down. And then I'm going to move it to the top of that toolpath. Tell it to go to the center of that toolpath. And I don't think I did that with that 4 to begin with. But that's okay, because I'm just showing you how I did this. And now with that selected, I'm going to hold my shift key and select that toolpath again, circular, 12 copies, and say OK. In fact, I'm going to undo, because I forgot. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave that alone. But I am going to undo those there because there's something I'm going to do different. I've got the leaf selected and the toolpath selected. Go back to that circular array, and this time I'm going to tell it to rotate the object copies. If you notice right now, each of those leaves are all pointed up. If I tell it to rotate, now they rotate around the clock face. They're all selected. I can draw it out just a little bit. No, that's the tool. That's the tool path. All right, so put all of that on another path because these are not grouped. I think that might be an option. I have to look at that again. Select all shapes on current cut layer and group those. And I can draw that down just a little. I'm looking at the space on that 20. All right. And there we have a pretty basic clock face. Now, if you wanted to put little ticks in there for the minutes, you could do that. It wouldn't take too much work to do. And if you wanted to do circular, just draw a perfect little circle by holding your shift key. Let's put that on a different layer as well. And move it. Select, let's see, select tool, select that, put it right over the center and the top of that circle. And now we're going to reduce its size. And now with that, I'm going to select the toolpath as well. Circular array. Now I don't see where you can group those. All right, there we've got 12 copies, but we don't want 12 copies. This time we want 60 copies. One for each second, and for each minute. So okay. But now I want to get rid of those on the 12 mark. So here, since they're not grouped, just go around and grab one at the top of each of those leaves and delete it. Now on the design that I have, or that I'm going to be sharing with you for free on the Laser Maker's Realm, it does not have the tick marks, but somebody's going to ask that question. That's why I went ahead and showed you how to do it right there. A wee bit oddish, and it's for 20 somewhere. So I hope you found this informative. This design, in fact, let me show you the actual design that I'm going to upload. Delete all of that. What? Yeah, because you know what? Yeah, I can't remember if that's the right one or not. We're going to tell it to open my Haddish clock. There we go. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's another little special thing. In honor of St. Patty's Day, I also drew a top hat and put it on the marijuana leaf and put a little shamrock in his hat. So this is the file that I will have on the Laser Maker's Realm for free in honor of St. Patty's Day. But as I stated earlier, I do not partake. It does nothing for me. But in my market, and this is true for your market, everybody's market, you need to build things that sell in your market. And in my market, my religious items sell, lots of crosses and lots of religious items, and weed. Those are two things that sell well for me. So I've decided to make this clock a wee bit Irish for St. Patty's Day, and it'll be just a fun piece to have year-round. In fact, what I need, did I already fix that? Let's see. Yep, I already did. All right. This file on Laser Maker's Realm for free. I'm going to have several other versions that are going to be available on my Patreon page that are free for my patrons. If you're interested in being a patron, when I do these files for Laser Maker's Realm, I give a file away, usually a file, but the patrons usually get that plus one or two or three more additional files for free. Now, all of those files that are going to be available for free for the Patreon, or for the patrons on Patreon, will be available on my website, hobowithwood.com, that you can purchase that file in itself, or hey, go over there to Patreon, sign up, become a patron. I appreciate your support. I greatly appreciate all of my supporters that I have already on Patreon. I always get those confused. I have not done a video saying thank you, thank you, thank you, but thank you. I don't know how important it is for you to see your name scrolling up here or there, but I know a lot of other creators do that. If you're a patron and you'd like to see your name on the screen, you just tell me. I'll put it up there. But this has been Steve, Hobo with Wood. I hope you found this informative. I appreciate your support. And there will be a link also in the Show More section for the hardware to create this actual clock, to make this an actual working clock. So be sure to check out Laser Maker's Realm for the free files. And until the next video, I'm Steve, Hobo with Wood, and I'm out.